Okay, so in this video, I'm going to guide you through some simple neck, shoulder, forearm, wrist, and hand stretches that may help relieve some of the tension that's been building from our home, work, and school environment. So the first thing that many of you can try, if you haven't already, would just be some simple stretching for the side of the neck. This is an upper trap stretch. So I'm just tipping my head down towards my shoulder, trying to keep this shoulder from elevating, and then keeping my nose facing straight ahead so that I'm not rotating one way versus the other. This should give me a nice, comfortable stretch through the side of my neck and shoulder. And I hold about 30 seconds and then switch sides. The important thing to think about with these is just make sure that you're not pulling hard on your head. It should just be a little bit of overpressure. After I've done about 30 seconds on each side, the next thing that you can try would be what's called a levator scapula stretch. So this I call a small your armpit stretch because that's sort of what it looks like you're doing. You're going to guide your nose forward and then rotating downward towards your armpit, holding for about 30 seconds as well. Again, making sure that that shoulder is not elevating and that you're not pulling forcefully on your head. It's just a little bit of overpressure that you're guiding with. And then I would repeat that same stretch on the opposite side, about 30 seconds on each side. This stretch you should feel a little bit more onto the back of the neck and shoulder rather than purely on the top and the side of your neck and shoulder. The next thing to try would be a wrist extensor stretch. So I'm just bending my wrist and hand down towards the floor, keeping my elbow nice and straight for about 30 seconds. You can hold it longer if you like. And then flipping the wrist in the opposite direction so that I get a stretch on the palm side of my forearm. This is good to do on both sides, especially with all the work we're doing with our laptop setup. We talked about this in the previous video with our mouse and or trackpad set up on our computers to relieve some of the tension in the forearm muscles. The next thing that you can try would just be some shoulder rolls. So working through as much range of motion as you can do comfortably, coming up towards the ears with the shoulders, rolling back and pinching back, pulling nice and gently down towards the hips, and then rolling forward. So this is good to do both clockwise and counterclockwise, and it helps to relieve some of the pressure in the top of the shoulder, but also in the scapular area in the back, some of the tightness that's building up there. And this one I typically encourage you to do like 10 to 15 repetitions and then move on to something else. Again, 10 to 15 clockwise, 10 to 15 counterclockwise, whatever feels good. And then the last easy one that you can try at home is going into sort of a lunging position. So I'm stretching my right arm right now. My left leg is forward in a split squat or a lunge position, and my elbow is about 90-degree angle on the wall. I'm just lunging forward with my body, so shifting my body weight towards the window, and I can turn my body away from my arm just slightly if I want to feel more of a stretch. For this, you should feel a nice good stretch in the front of the chest and the front of the shoulder, front of the upper arm. About 30 seconds or so. You can do both arms at the same time if you like. If you have a wide enough door frame and or a corner wall that will allow you to do that. You can change the angles a little bit if you like, coming down a little bit lower with the elbows or up a little bit higher with the elbow to get different bands of that muscle stretching.